I'm Justin Cole, and what's your name?
Alan Reinert.
And how many Tuckers have you owned?
4,
And those were numbers?
18, 55, 43, and 57.
And approximately when did you start working on Tuckers?
About 1972, 73, right in there.
And how many Tuckers have you worked on?
I've worked on six Tuckers for other owners.
Okay, all right. And our goal here today is just to kind of talk a little bit about some debate that's been found on the internet, and we just wanted to speak with Alan a little bit here today about some statements that aren't necessarily true, and some of them just flat out are not true. So we're just gonna go through questions here and get answers from Alan. The first question we have is about Alex Tremulous, and when did you say you have met Alex, correct?
Yes.
And when you met him and talked to him about the Tucker Corporation, did you guys discuss a convertible project?
Yes, we did.
And what did he say about the status of that project when y'all talked?
Well, we were in Ann Arbor, Michigan, 1983, Tucker Convention, and I had asked Alex if he remembered the convertible project, and he had stated that he didn't think that project was ever finished. And then when I told him I had acquired the car and the condition that it was in and so on, and he made some comment, you got a very rare car there. You know, I mean, that was pretty much it. But to me, he acknowledged that, you know, the car did exist at that point. So.
And there was also an accountant that worked for Tucker that you corresponded with.
Mel Kippen.
Mel Kippen. And we have some documentation from you guys that we'll show later in the footage that discusses the project also.
Well, Mel Kippen remembers when they were building a special chassis in either the chassis shop or the experimental department, because number 57, which was a four-door, there were 58 body shells that were constructed, of which only 36 were completed by the factory. After the trial, you got factory documents that show for reorganization that 36 Tuckers were completed, counting the Tin Goose, which actually would make it 35. And when he had the auction in October of 1950, there were 14 Tuckers that were in various stages of being completed. And these were purchased and assembled outside the factory by individual people, not Tucker employees or at the factory, but they're still considered a Tucker automobile. Okay.
Okay. And all of this stuff next to you and around you is stuff you've collected over the years, letters, correspondence, books. What do you think the best way to discuss the number 55? Why don't you discuss with me a little bit about having 57 and part of 55 in your shop at the same time?
Well, number 55 was purchased. Stan Gallahan had that car in his collection in Wellington, Kansas, and he had sold it to some fellow, and the fellow's wife made him take it back. And this is documented in the Tucker Topics. And Stan resold the car to somebody in Springfield, Ohio, and the body was just totally rotted away. And I acquired the car because the gentleman had acquired a lot of new old stock parts from wherever. So I bought the car for $1,500, and I had the car in my possession along with the front half of 18. And George Etch was interested in acquiring both cars because they did carry serial numbers, and he was a member of the club, and he could tell people that he owned two Tuckers, which he did. And then he wanted me to repair number 55 chassis because the back end was rotted off. So we welded that back on, and we made new floor pans for it and painted it red as he wanted. And then after he took possession of the chassis, he cut the front nose off of 18 and welded it on to number 55 for the suspension that was there. And then George showed the chassis at 1990 in Chicago, I believe, and also Auburn, Indiana. We had it on display and so on. And then he later sold that chassis, or traded it, it's my understanding, to this Mr. DiLorenzo in Butler, New Jersey, for all the plastic fiberglass components to build his, he had a Corvair that he made into a convertible, which you see the pictures of and so on. And that's what he did. And it's my understanding that number 55 is in the possession of the Hudson dealership in Ypsilanti. It's also a museum for Hudson vehicles. And they also have one of the fiberglass cars that were made for the movie on display there.
Okay. So the Tucker convertible project never had anything to do with number 55.
None.
And the guy that built the fiberglass convertible, again, is the same person who bought the compilation of 55 and 18 from you.
Right, correct.